Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Roofing Contractor Walls and Ceilings Legal Insights video. I'm Roofing Contractor Editor Art Eisner, and I'm glad to be joined today by Trent Cotney of Adams and Reese. Hi, Trent. Welcome as always. Appreciate you
Hey, Art,
being
it's good
here.
to see you again. How you doing?
I'm doing well, likewise. Let's start off since most of the industry is still catching up from a very busy week in Washington, D.C. How was your roofing day?
It was fantastic. I had a great opportunity to see some people I don't normally get to see. I got to spend time with several representatives and their staff. It was really a great opportunity. It's always good seeing my friends at NRCA and throughout the country. So highly recommended. It's a great opportunity to kind of get our voice heard. And we really focused on a lot of key issues like immigration. Really hope that we continue to get a good turnout in the next year as well.
Got it. How did it feel to be back at the Capitol after the COVID-related hiatus?
It's good, and just in general, it's good being able to get out and see people. There was about a year or so there where I was stuck behind a desk, so it's nice to be on the road a little bit and get to see people, and hopefully Art will see you soon as well. So.
That's right. I'll get back on the road. Well, Trent, no shortage of news going on, and you've been hearing from roofing contractors out there. I imagine about OSHA and some of their plans to re-implement the electronic standards and put some of those back in place. Can you tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So OSHA's been active lately. There's been a lot of rulemaking. There's been a lot of things in the work, not just on the federal level, but some of the state plans as well. And we're continuing to see these headlines hit. Recently, just a week or so ago, OSHA announced that it was in the process of proposing that we would return back to the electronic reporting requirements that were in early 2016. And what that required was that if you have over 100 employees as an employer, you've got to provide all your OSHA logs, your 300, your 301s, and your 300As. Now, the issue with this, Art, is that this is sensitive, publicly available information. So your competitors, the public, everybody could potentially get access to information about your safety and your potential injuries and illness that are out there. So, it was hotly contested the first time it went around. We'll see what happens this time. And one of the concerns I had back when it was first coming out was having interfaced with, OSHA for quite a while. I know that their technology isn't necessarily where it needs to be. So the mere technological requirements in order to host and implement and be able to support this data, I'm still not sure if they're 100% there. So that was one of the things that kind of slowed them up the first time. We'll see what it looks like this time if it goes through.
All right, interesting. Well, and I know some contractors really breathed a sigh of relief when that standard was at least put on hold. What do you expect, or what's your advice to contractors? Should they be doing anything right now, or is there still a little bit of time?
Yeah, so one of the things I really recommend is always take a proactive risk mitigation approach to recording any injuries or illness. Obviously, you want to be truthful, but less is more. Don't assume facts that you don't know. Don't put stuff in there that could potentially be misconstrued if read by a government agency or a competitor or whatever it might be. So obviously, truthfully and accurately record any injury or illness. And anything else that needs to be in those logs. But, remember, keep it simple.
Okay. So that's happening on the national scene. And in your home state of Florida, Trent, there's seems to be always news related to roofing and construction going on. A lot of attention being focused on House Bill 741 that's now gone to Governor DeSantis for his signature or not. Can you brief contractors what's going on there?
Sure. So House Bill 741 was fairly contentious in that the utility company sponsored it, their lobbyists put it forth, and the idea behind it was that it doesn't outright completely eliminate the subsidies and credits you would get from having rooftop solar, but it does start to phase it out. So it is definitely for the benefit of the utility companies who have a very, very powerful lobby in the state of Florida. Obviously, this is something that both roofing contractors and solar contractors have been watching closely, because without those incentives, it makes it more difficult to convince the public to buy into environmentally sound options like solar. So, this is a consistent thing that we see almost every legislative cycle. So, my advice to contractors out there is, this isn't the end; it's only the beginning. It's still waiting for the governor to sign it as of today. So, if it is put into law, recognize that there's always next year, and just continue to fight the good fight.
Got it. Well, and given how much momentum and I guess the change that's happened recently for uh, the solar portion in the roofing industry, is now really the right time for kind of for this bill? Do you expect there to be a big reaction if it does get approved?
Yeah, it's interesting because we are talking about Florida, right? So I'm not entirely sure what's going to play out in the next election cycle. Obviously, with the Infrastructure Act that was passed, a lot of incentives for energy, renewable energy, sustainable energy, all those types of things. Clearly, on the federal level, big push towards that with gas prices continue to soar. Obviously, solar is something that people are considering. I do think that to a certain extent, it will be isolated to Florida. It is a state by state type issue. And like I said, this thing ebbs and flows almost every year. This is not the first time we've had a scale back of subsidies or credits that are given because of solar. It won't be the last time. It's just a never ending cycle.
Okay, so more to come on that one. What else are you getting calls about, Trent?
Well, it's been interesting. We are still getting a ton of calls related to material supply related issues and how to navigate those. We've had to really become clever as it relates to contract drafting and wordsmithing. And one of the things that we really tried to do is reach over the aisle and kind of work hand in hand to figure out something that is effective. And a lot of times, what we do is we create a bracketed type system where if certain materials are within a certain percentage, then contractor will eat it. After that, then it's split, and then after a certain percentage, then it's all the owner or all the general contractor. And what I've seen is that if you approach these issues up front and are very honest about it and have these discussions ahead of time, it's a lot better than having to put that change order in mid project. So this issue is very interesting, Art, because it continues to ebb and flow. We're talking about since April of 21 now, and it's constantly evolving. This is not the same thing over and over and over again. This is something that, as materials prices have increased and lead times have increased, we see every player in the field adjusting their strategy to have to deal with it. So obviously, stay tuned for more on that.
Wow, very very complicated. It sounds like you guys might be setting some new ground in legal terms too, getting
Absolutely.
through this process.
Yeah. Stay tuned for more because we do have several cases that are in the cooker right now that could potentially create some new law on the issue. So obviously, very proud of our team, and we continue to fight the good fight for contractors. So,
all right, where can people find out more, Trent?
Sure. Well, they can go to adamsandreese.com, or they can reach me directly via email at trent.cotney@arlaw.com.
All right, Trent, thank you as always for the great information and conversation. Please be sure to check out roofingcontract.com. And while you're there, sign up for our free e-magazine and our e-newsletter so you can stay on top of the latest news and information impacting the industry. For our walls and ceilings audience, please also visit wconline.com for comprehensive coverage of the interior construction industry. Thanks, everyone, and stay safe.